Yo, Panther Nation. Welcome to Pantherology. Week 1 edition, really, of Pantherology. That's been the top theme this week with all my videos. Obviously, I put a video out of what I thought the Panthers were going to do to expose the Raiders in this Week 1 matchup. Now, granted, this offseason, the Raiders have loaded up. We begin this season against the Raiders. We are considered the 3-point underdog despite having home field advantage. If we're going to overcome these odds, though, and pull off that Week 1 victory, even though I already think we are, I want to tell you what they need to do that. And I'm going to give you some key individual matchups that we need to win at to beat the Raiders. And you're going to be wondering, well, why do you have so many matchups? Well, it's just these are the key matchups that y'all need to watch out for. So let's jump right into it. First things first, you got running back Christian McCaffrey, right? He's the key matchup that I need y'all to watch out for is how he goes up against Jonathan Abram. So as we know, the Raiders loaded up this offseason at the linebacker position, but their best run defender may be Abram, who missed a lot of last year with a shoulder injury. Abram is a heavy hitter who can energize his home team like an Earl Thomas or a Canu Neal or Cam Chancellor, one of those guys. On the other hand, McCaffrey is the top running back in football, and he makes an even great run stuffers look bad. He's also an underrated as a runner between the tackles, I think, and it will be fascinating to see what happens when those two butt heads. So that's the first matchup. Next one I have is DJ Moore versus cornerback Akeem Robertson. Carolina's second best option and number 1 wide receiver DJ Moore, who just so happens to be the most capable slot receiver on the roster in my opinion. Especially if LaMarcus Joyner struggles against Moore early on, the Raiders will have to change things up real quick. They could put Moore on a collision course with Robertson, who is the tenacious nickel, and may have been Mike Mayock's sharpest draft pick this year. Moore's 6 foot, 209 pounds, has a clear size advantage, but Robertson's 5'8", 172 pounds. Physicality could give him trouble at the catch point. All right, next matchup, we got wide receiver Robbie Anderson and then cornerback Damian Arnett. The big ticket item for the Panthers, I feel like, in the free agency this year was former Jets wide receiver Robbie Anderson, who was one of the league's fastest vertical threats. His open field speed should be a problem for Las Vegas, I feel, especially when he's matched up with Damian Arnett. Arnett ran a 4.56 40 at the scouting combine, while Anderson ran a 4.36 at his pro day. That adds up a lot of separation stretched out over a deep route. So the next matchup is Joe Brady versus Paul Guenther, or Paul Guenther, I think is how you pronounce it. This will be an offensive coordinator Joe Brady's first play calling at this level, while the Raiders defensive coordinator Paul Guenther has the edge in experience. His defense has ranked second to last in DVOA for 2 years in a row. Brady also has more weapons to work with. If he can put his skill players to use and call a smart game plan, I think it'll go a long way towards an upset win for the Panthers. Carolina's run defense versus running back Josh Jacobs is another matchup. No matter how brilliant Brady's offense is, the young players on the other side of the ball are going to have to step up. The Panthers had the league's worst run defense by far last year. While they've added some pieces this offseason, that should help. It won't be easy stopping the Raiders' run game. Jacobs is one of the best NFL rushers and has probably one of the most powerful offensive line leading the way for him. Last year, they ran the ball about 44% of their offensive plays in 2019, and that was 8th most in the league. So watch out for that matchup. Our run defense is going to have to step up, guys. Cornerback Dante Jackson and then Henry Ruggs. All right, that's another matchup. Carolina's defense is the weakest at corner, in my opinion, which makes me feel a little anxiety introducing these matchups. Dante Jackson is the team's top corner by far right now, which puts him against the Raiders' number 1 draft pick, Henry Ruggs. Jackson can match that guy's speed, but Ruggs is one of the best receivers in the draft class, loaded with talent at his position. He will need to keep Ruggs in front of him and avoid the mental errors that wounded up getting him benched late in 2019. Another one, Troy Pride Jr. versus Brian Edwards. So I have the utmost respect for Brian Edwards because I'm a Gamecock fan. But the Raiders doubled down on the receiver later on, picking up Brian Edwards in that third round. While Eli Apple's going on the injury reserve, the Panthers will likely need to start their fourth rounder, Troy Pride, outside. That could problematic given how much size he's giving up to Edwards, who is 4 inches taller and 18 pounds heavier. Pride will need to prove he can compete with the bigger receiver, and if he's going to continue starting in the NFC South. So this is an appropriate challenge to get started. Next key matchup I have is Brian Burns versus offensive tackle Kolton Miller. The Panthers finished second in the NFL in sacks last season. While they lost a lot of that firepower up front in the free agency, they still have Burns, who is now their top pass rusher right now by far. Kolton Miller is the Raiders' starting left tackle. He is nowhere near as stout in pass protection as Donald Penn was in his prime. Meanwhile, Burns did put on 10 pounds this offseason over the summer, and 10 pounds of muscle, I might add. Now he has to show that he can translate his speed into power. Burns should be able to dominate this matchup and get consistent pressure on Derek Carr, because that's what we need, because Derek Carr gets the ball out fast, real quick. He gets the ball out real quick, and we got to be able to get to him fast, and that's why I like this matchup. Then you have left tackle Russell Okung versus defensive end Max Crosby. The Raiders, re-signed the sack champion Max Crosby, who led his team with 10 in his rookie season. It's really good. Crosby will be lining up across Russell Okung, probably our best offensive lineman on the team. He came over from the Chargers, as we all know, in the trade for Trey Turner. He's a definite upgrade over the last several left tackles that the Panthers have started. Okung has never been an elite pass protector. He'll turn 32 years old next month. This could be a critical matchup that could go either way, so look forward to that. Last but not least, Tahir Whitehead versus John Gruden. And everybody's like, why linebacker versus a coach? Well, the biggest disadvantage for the Panthers that they face this year is going from Luke Kuechly at middle linebacker to Tahir Whitehead. We all know Kuechly was probably the NFL's best coverage linebacker, while Whitehead is the worst. John Gruden had a front row seat for Whitehead's struggles last two seasons. So he should know how to exploit Whitehead. I expect Gruden to use Jacobs and that very underrated tight end Darren Waller to put Whitehead's spotty coverage to the test. So guys, those are my key matchups for this week 1 matchup. I look forward to these matchups. I still think we win the game. I've already told you that. I think we have too much talent on the offensive side of the ball. I know we're young at the defense. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a battle. And like I said, I still think we get the win. Guys, go ahead and smash that like button. Smash that subscribe button. Comment down below. And Panther Nation and all my Pantherologists, keep pounding.